welcome to the second episode of the Baswik podcast. I have been looking forward to returning since I uploaded my first video 2 weeks ago. It was quite frightening to upload it, but you have all been very welcoming. So welcome to any returning viewers and welcome to all the new viewers out there. I can't wait to show you what I've been working on for the past 2 weeks and what I've been experiencing because I've been at a crafts fair and I've shot some videos to show to you. My name is Frauke. I live in Denmark with my boyfriend and our 4 dogs, and I love everything crafty. So I sew, I crochet, I knit. I just do anything I want to and try a lot of new things all the time. So I hope this podcast will be all about my crafty life, so I can show you what I'm up to. You can find me on Ravelry as FSiemer, and you can find me on Instagram as Miss Siemer. Miss Siemer is my private account where I show you pictures from my everyday life. So it's all about my crafty life, but it's also all about my dogs and the training we do them. I have sled dogs and they take up a lot of my time, but I just love them to pieces. And it's a very versatile life here in this house. I am currently located in my favorite room, the library, and as you can see, I love books. So maybe in time that will be part of this podcast as well. But right now, and for this episode, I will stick to knitting. So let's start with the first segment. It's called The Beautiful and the Damned. It's all about my FOs and HOs, and this week I actually have both. And I have been looking forward to showing this to you because I finished the doll I showed last week. The little elf, or Nisse as they're called in Denmark. His name is Knas, or in English it would be Crunch. It's a pattern by Filcolana. It was made for them, and I actually thought it was only in Danish, but I found it on Ravelry, so I will post the link to it if anyone feels excited about this and wants to knit some dolls themselves. So he is knit in the body is knit in one piece and the arms separately, and then he got some clothing. Last time I only had the figurine. He didn't have a face or hair or anything. So since we last met, I have made him some clothing and some shoes. I put on his hair, and actually he was supposed to be blonde, but since my nephew and niece, who will be the luck recipients of these dolls, are redheads like me, Ginger, he couldn't be anything, he couldn't be blonde. He had to be a ginger as well. So this is Knas, and I am actually I finished him I think a few days after the last podcast. But I immediately threw on the next project, which is his friend Trille. That's the girl, and I used a different strategy than when I knit Knas, because I knitted the whole figurine and then I made the clothes afterwards, and I didn't want to put on his face before his clothes was ready, so I was anxious to get it done. So for Trille, I did it the opposite way around. So I knit her clothing, and she has this little skirt, and of course the red hat, and her shoes. I made 2 of these, and now I've moved on to the body. And unlike Knas, his legs are this color, Trille is wearing leggings or pantyhose, so she's like this all the way. As you can see, I've nearly completed the body. I only need 4 more stripes then I will knit the head and then the arms, and then I just need to stuff her and sew her up, and then she's done. So Trille will be finished quite soon, and I can't wait, because I have this great idea, and I just told my brother and sister-in-law about it, and they were all in. So Knas and Trille are joined by a dog as well. My brother doesn't know that, but he will get the note eventually. Because I really wanted this to be an experience for my nephew and niece, I have decided that they move in separately. In Denmark, we celebrate, amongst other things, during December, this Advent time. So the 4 Sundays up to Christmas, we light a candle. And sometimes people get presents on that day, so like small presents. If they don't have a Christmas calendar with 24 days, they have like these 4 bigger presents on the Sundays up to Christmas. And so I thought, what better way to introduce these dolls than let them move in separately. So on the first Sunday, the first Advent Sunday, Knas is moving in, and already on the 1st of December, that is 2 days prior to the first Sunday, the first Advent Sunday, there's a story that starts. So every day they will get like a little chapter in this story that tells the story of these elves moving in, and Knas moves in, and then a lot of crazy stuff is going to happen in the house. Like the kids will get green milk one day, and one day they wake up and there's the table is set for 6 instead of just 5, like the 4 people in the family and Knas, but there's a 6th plate and cup and so in the morning. So all these little tricks are leading up to the second Sunday of Advent, where Trille is moving in. And then a lot of new stuff are going to happen. So I have to plan this, because I've convinced my brother to do this every morning. So get up before the kids to do all these crazy things, so they think these elves are actually in the house and keeping watch over them, to return the message to Santa, so he can tell Santa that they've been really great kids. So I'm looking forward to writing the story and finding these great things that are going to happen every day in their house until the 4th Sunday of Advent, which is the 24th of December this year. So it will all top off with Christmas Eve, which is celebrated in Denmark as the time when we unpack all our presents, unlike most all English and American Christmas parties, which take place on the 25th. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope they will enjoy it. It's a little bit different, but and it's a lot of work from now until I can deliver the package to them, so they can hide it for the days. But I think it's going to be great. So yeah, those were actually the things I've been working really hard on for the past 2 weeks. I need to finish them before the 1st of December, because I need to get it delivered to my brother and sister-in-law, and I still have a dog to make and a story to write, and figure out what's going to happen. So I'm busy, but I have been knitting a little bit on a project I showed you the last time as well. My Stephen West hat. I think I only knit like 6 rows or something like that, but I need to show you, just to show that I have not only been working on those elves. So this is the project. As you can see, it's just right and purl stitches, and I made this what's it called? Ribbed edging, because I really like it to be tugging a little bit in, or tucked into my head. So the yarn is Pollen by Hedgehog Fibers. I really love to work with it, so it's I really need to get working on that hat because I enjoy it and I want to use the hat, so I think it's going to be finished before December as well, but yeah, busy bee, that's me. I have, if you wonder why I'm looking down all the time, it's because I've already written the show notes and they're on my computer and I use them as the notes for for this episode. So as soon as I upload the episode, I can just copy paste the show notes into it and everything will be ready for you to watch. Last time I showed you a pattern as well, something I would like to make for myself, which was this one, the Christmas jumper. I haven't cast it on yet. I'm actually beginning to doubt that I will get it finished before Christmas. Just because I have so many other projects I want to make, and I finished those mittens the last time, and now I really want to make a pair of mittens as a Christmas present for someone. So yeah, let's see what I can get done before the 24th. Next week I'm going to Copenhagen for on Tuesday for a concert, and I'm really looking forward to that. All on my own, but I hopefully will take the train. So I have a lot of knitting time there, and I usually get a lot done when I'm there. I can watch podcasts or listen to music and just knit away for like 3.5 hours. So that would be really awesome. But yeah, I didn't cast it on, but I actually caked the yarn. The yarn was from the Little Grey Sheep from the UK. I bought it at Fanny Strikke Festival. You can hear more about it in my first episode. Yeah, that was the first step, so now it's only the cast on. I bet I will get it cast on before Christmas, but if I finish it, that's a bit uncertain right now. So, on to the next. All that stash, you know from the last time. It's all the yarn I have received, or all the things I bought. And stash for me is not only yarn or yarny goodness, but also fabric and patterns and anything else. I went to this great craft festival. I'll tell you a little bit about it later, or a lot about it later. But before I tell you about that, I will show you something which I received in the mail. On the last episode, I mentioned that my sister-in-law asked me to knit a hat for my niece. She's 3 years old and loves pink. I think that's very common, but I don't have any pink yarn in my stash because pink is not really my color. Sorry for that. Yeah, it was a good excuse for me to go yarn looking and shopping. So I bought some yarn from Miss Babs in the US, and I really like the yarn from this company. It's squishy and lovely, and I received it in the mail last week. And what can I say? It's actually really, really lovely. The only thing my sister-in-law told me was that she has this black and pink overall for winter, and she really wanted it to match. So this is the hat yarn. This is their K2 base. It's a chunky weight yarn, and it's called BFF. And yeah, trying to get some free anti-points. I think this will be really awesome for the hat I want to knit. I can post a picture right here of the hat that I have in mind. I have bought 2 other skeins as well. this time for Malabrigo, and it's the Pearl 10 and the Fuchsia, as you can see here. And I want to make the brim of the hat a different color, a solid color. So one of these will be paired up with the variegated yarn from Miss Babs, and I think they both look adorable, so I have to decide which one will be left out. But I love these colors together, and I could actually see myself wearing a hat with these colors, but yeah, they are earmarked for my niece, and I think she will love the hat. So the last thing I need for this hat right now, and which I am looking for, is a pom-pom. I want a bright pink, like this, or fuchsia, big pom-pom. It would look adorable on top of this. So yeah, I will find it. If you have any recommendations or great, you know, a great company who makes like bright pink or fuchsia pom-poms, please comment below or in the Ravelry group under the episode. I would really appreciate it, and yeah. On to the next. I will have to insert a picture for the next 2 skeins of yarn I bought, and I'll put them right here. Those are Madeline Tosh Merino Light. I bought them at this craft festival, and there was this great store just filled with Madeline Tosh, and a very nice girl who I know from Instagram was actually in the booth, and we finally got to say hello to each other, so that was awesome. So hi. And they have all these great yarns, and I really love Madeline Tosh. I knit a shawl out of Madeline Tosh, and I was at the craft fair with my mother-in-law, and it was her birthday just a few days after the festival, and I've already pre-hand decided that I wanted to buy her a birthday present at this craft fair. So I went around and looked around, and then I decided that I wanted to buy 2 skeins of Madeline Tosh yarn for her, mainly because she loves to knit, and she knits a lot, and last year I knit her the Void shawl. I took part in the knit along, Katie's Inside Number 23's knit along for the Void along, which she did with Eric from Sticks Plus Twine, and she really loved it. And this year I thought, well, I have so many things for Christmas that I need to get ready that I simply can't do another project. So she got the yarn for a shawl, and now she can knit it herself. And yeah, the second reason is actually because she would never buy Madeline Tosh. She likes the quality, but she just, yeah, she thinks it's too expensive, and I just wanted her to get something really, really nice. So I bought these 2 skeins. It is tarred and antique lace. And I actually threw in another skein, which is my amber. It's a merino superwash, yeah, but with the same yardage as Madeline Tosh, and so she can make herself a really, really great autumn shawl. And she was so happy when she received it last weekend, and I hope I will get her a pattern for it, and yeah, it will be great. I think she will love it. So I'm looking forward to her finished project. Maybe I can show it on the podcast if I ask her. But as I mentioned, I went to this crafts fair. It's called Creativitygal. It takes place in Fredericia, a town like an hour and a half from where I live. And I went there last year with my boyfriend, and this year I wanted to spare him. So I asked my mother-in-law, who's a very crafty person as well, if she wanted to go with me, and she immediately said yes. And so we went there on Sunday, and she brought along one of her girlfriends. So yeah, we went there and yeah, got in around 10 and got out again at 3 in the afternoon. So we had a long and lovely day there. I was mainly looking at yarn, but there were a lot of lovely fabric stores as well. The great thing about this fair is there are all kinds of crafts. Like if you want to work with glass, you can find some shops there. If you want to do patchwork, you can go to one of the hundreds of booths that sold fabric, and hundreds is maybe what's it called? Doesn't matter. There weren't hundreds, but there were a lot of patchwork booths, and like paper folding or yeah, anything you can think of, it was there. So that was really nice. There were some great shops there, and when I went last year, there was this, yeah, my shop. It's called the Little White House, or the Lille Hvide Hus, and it's a couple who owns it, and they are always so nice, and they will be first in the video that I put in after this. They just have everything vintage, like patterns and everything, buttons. Yeah, I just love that shop. She also sells brooches and earrings, and it's just so lovely to get to go there and just see what they brought this year. And they always have like these vintage pattern books, and it's just exciting to be there for a while and just flip through the pages, and they are so nice. I was talking to the owner, and she always she always comes up to you and asks if you're looking for something in particular, and then I always say these vintage patterns really excite me, and then and then she says there are a lot of nice ones here, and you can just look around, and then you stand there for like 5 minutes, and suddenly she comes with this stack of magazines, or a box she had somewhere with even more patterns, and you are all overwhelmed, and you just want to buy everything from there. So I actually bought some things there, besides 2 sets of earrings and some buttons. These for some project sometime. I don't know which, but I will find out. I brought these home. It's crazy. I have so many vintage pattern booklets, and I need to get them all done. There are so many crazy great patterns in here, and different techniques, and they're just amazing, and I want to make them all. I have a few projects in mind for the start of next year. I already have the yarn for some of them, so next year will be a year where I want to knit a lot of pullovers and cardigans and blouses and you name it for myself, so I can wear them. Actually, the one I'm wearing right now is a vintage pattern, and actually is from a booklet I bought. No, that was not from the Little White House, sorry. But it's from a vintage pattern booklet, and I love it. Some think it's a Christmas sweater. It's grey from here down, and I don't mind it. It took so long to knit because it's been knit on like 2 or 2.5 needles, and I just wear it all year if I can, and I love it. And I actually considered making it in different colors than this, so I have I would have another version of it. But there are so many beautiful patterns out there, and I just want to make something else, so, and use my time on something else. So maybe you will see a pattern from this knit into a garment for myself. I definitely will make something from these, because they're just lovely and wonderful. Really, really wonderful. So that was another thing I bought at the craft festival, or craft fair. Then there was this store called Crea and Fun and Crea. I actually have a little bit of video of it as well. I will tag it down below so you know which store it is. She had amazing, I really mean amazing fabric for kimonos, and she also had this haberdashery table filled with haberdashery, and I love haberdashery. I bought some vintage buttons, and I bought some Merchant and Mills ball pins. I love the packaging of Merchant and Mills, and they make some great things. I've actually been looking for. They have like this wristband with a pillow on top for your needles. I would really love that. I haven't found it in Denmark yet, so maybe I will just look outside of the border to find it. But I really love Merchant and Mills. It has this vintage vibe that I love, and yeah, sewing projects are building up in my sewing room. I have a sewing room. It actually started as our guest room is right in there. Maybe I will show you someday. Yeah, it started out as a guest room with a sofa which could be pulled out. Last year we removed the sofa because I wanted a cutting table instead, and I have a serger and embroidery machine. My boyfriend bought an industrial sewing machine 2 years ago, because we do the harnesses for our own dogs, so it's a little room but filled with a lot of good things, and I love to spend time in there. But yeah, I will show you a picture of it someday, or maybe I will film a little bit in there. Yeah, on the sewing things, I bought some fabric at the fair as well. I was actually, when I found this fabric, I had decided that I didn't want to buy more at the fair. I thought I'd used enough of my money, but then I found this and I couldn't leave it, and it was really cheap. So this one, it is, I don't know if you can see it, red, blue and green on a sand base. I would love to make a skirt out of this. I'm a little afraid that it would be very Christmassy, but I don't mind, I love Christmas. But I think if you pair it with a blue or a green blouse and a white shirt underneath or something like that, it would look amazing. So this is definitely a project I will do over the next couple of weeks. I will of course show you the finished garment, and I already know which pattern I'm going to use, because I made a lot of skirts from this beforehand or previously, and it's by How to Do Fashion. It's a Danish brand, and I simply love everything she does. I made a coat, I've made these skirts. I have the pattern for a jacket that I'm it's one of those projects that I can't finish, but it's hanging on my mannequin, and I really want to finish it because I really want to make it in another color. And what I love about her patterns is the fact that they have the best descriptions. She does videos with her techniques. If there's something you can't figure out, there's always a video for it, and she's really nice. And then she has the vintage look. Yeah, go and find her. I will put a link down below so you can find her and buy all her patterns. They are lovely, 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 lovely. So yeah, have to do fashion. And the last thing I bought, that was before I bought the fabric, was something I have wanted for, I don't know, 1 or 2 years. I have a lot of knitting needles. I inherited a lot of needles from my aunt, who is the craziest knitter you can imagine. She's always knitting, and she's amazing at knitting. And she got allergies, so she had to buy all new needles. So I think I got all sizes, all lengths, everything in needles. Yeah, so I inherited all these needles, and actually I don't need any more needles, but everyone needs needles. So I got this set of interchangeable needles a few years ago. My boyfriend bought a set for me, the Knit Pro, or Knitter's Pride harmonies, and I love them. I've used them quite a lot, and then I stumbled across the carbons. I need all of them. I bought the small set, and I bought a lot of separates after that, and I really like them. And then I started knitting socks last year, and then I was looking for something a little different, and stumbled across the Zings. If you've seen the Die Another Day podcast with another Dane, Christina, and her friend Amanda, the yarn enabler and the cozy knitter, you will heard about all of the. You will have heard all about this or these needles, and I wanted a set of 15 centimeters DPNs for quite a while, and I never received them as a gift, so now I bought them for myself. I already looked at them at the Fanny Striker Festival, but I didn't buy them back then, so when I went to this fair, I thought, well, now is the time. So I bought this set of DPNs. Unfortunately, they're only the regular European sizes, like 2 and 2.5, 3 and 3.5 and 4, and I really want the 2.25 and 2.75s. Does anyone out there know if there's a set of these, or do I have to buy them separately? I have the 2.25s, and maybe I also have the 2.75, but I want all of them. So is there a set? Do I have to buy them separately? Does Knit Pro manufacture them as a whole set? Please let me know, because I really, really want them. And I want the short ones. I really like to work on the short ones. And I highly recommend these. They are amazing, and I love the sound they make, and I just love working with them. And every time I can, I will use my DPNs. I do magic loop. I actually knit Knas and Trille on magic loop, but I really like this old-fashioned way of just using DPNs and knitting in the round with them. So yeah, let me know if you stumbled across a set of these 2.25, 2.75 and 3.25 and so on. I would really, really love that. And that was the last purchase from the fair, so that's been amazing. And yeah, I just mentioned Die Another Day, and I have to say I've been binge watching for the last 2 weeks, because I just love everything about them. It's funny, it's creative, and they are so amazing. And I've heard about their yarns for, I don't know, 2 years. or since they started their podcast. The Grocery Girls have mentioned them a lot of times, and Molly from A Homespun House has mentioned them, and Katie, Eric, you name it. I watch all that I can. But I've never really jumped into the Die Another Day podcast. So 2 weeks ago I watched my first episode, and I have to say, ladies, you do a fantastic job. It's really great to see a fellow Dane living abroad in a lovely country, I imagine. And it was really funny when she spoke Danish the other day, and det var bare fedt, Christina. Big shout out to you, because I can't wait to watch the last few episodes and then just tag along as they come. I have been watching in the mornings before I go to work, like when I'm brushing my teeth, there's an episode on, and in the evenings when I'm cooking, they're by my side. So I was really happy when a week ago I heard rumors that Christina would put her gingerbread house on sale again. I've heard a lot about it. I've seen it on a few podcasts, and I really, really like it. Like I've said a lot of times, I love Christmas, and Christmas is just around the corner, and I really wanted to get my hands on them. So they were on sale yesterday, and I got a skein. It's so great. I can't wait for it to arrive. I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm really considering doing a Christmas sock knit along, because now I have 2 skeins of Christmas yarns. So you'll hear more about it in 2 weeks, because I will definitely do that. That's maybe a way for me to cast on some socks, because I haven't finished my Hermione's Everyday Socks yet. But I really want to do my first knit along, and I don't think there's a better way than starting off with a Christmas sock knit along. So I'll keep you posted on that one. And then I thought, let's do something crazy this week. This is only the 2nd episode, but I do have some great stuff for you, and I thought I would do my first giveaway. Giveaways. I love receiving gifts. I love receiving the old style mail, and especially packages. Soft packages are the best, because I know there's almost always yarn in there. I'm opening a thread in the Baswik group on Ravelry, and I want you to tell me your best Christmas memory. It could be someone returning to celebrate with you, whom you haven't seen for a while. It could be a shopping spree with your best friend, or the day you bake all your Christmas cookies. Anything. I just want to hear all about your lovely, lovely Christmas memories. And I will draw a winner on the 1st of December, because then I can ship it, and hopefully you can get it before Christmas. I won't tell you what the prize is yet, but it will be something really special. It will be something to do with yarn, and something to do with knitting, and it will be very Christmassy. So please leave your memory in the thread. It will open shortly after I've uploaded this, on the 1st of December at noon, I think, I will draw the winner, and I will contact you directly. So then we will be in the right spirit for Christmas or December to start off with a bang. I will look forward to reading all of your memories. I will look forward to reading your comments about this week's episode. And I think there's only one thing left, and that is the video I promised you of the crafts fair in Fredericia. It has been lovely to be with you, and I haven't had any beverages today, so I will make up for that next time with a coffee or maybe some tea, I don't know yet. But I will look forward to returning in 2 weeks. Until then, happy knitting, as they say, and have a really, really lovely day. Bye.